Hey, this is D-Roy Cruz on my Big D channel. I want to address something that I notice is not really big on YouTube, and that is the Neocolor ones. Now, we know that Neocolor 2 is always being talked about. There must be like 100 videos or more on Neocolor 2. Note, 2. But not the 1. Neocolor 1. Okay? Neocolor 1 are supposedly dry pastels, dry wax pastels, whereas the Neocolor 2 is for water-soluble media. They are water-soluble pastels that have oil. Okay? Everybody knows about Neocolor 2s. But Neocolor 1 is like a professional type of crayon. Let me explain what Neocolor 1 actually is. Everybody knows what the China markers are. They call these China markers, or there's another name for them. Okay? But China markers is the big name. Oh, here it is here. What's it say? Let me see. It says, oh, that's in the brand name. There's another name for them, but these are China markers. Okay? And China markers are used to mark stuff. You can mark on paper, you can mark on wood, you can mark on plastic, fabric, you name it. And they're actually like a crayon texture. They're not like ink. They're like a very opaque type of crayon. And as you can see, you pull the string. I just sharpen them. I also have one back there that I have tape on. I sharpen it and then I put tape on it, right before the tip. That string is the only thing that I really hate. I hate that string. Now that you know what the China markers are, think of the China markers used as pastels. And voila, you have Neocolor 1. Okay, that's all Neocolor 1 is. They are the China markers used as pastels. So now, when you go in the store, you only have the option of the white and black China markers. But when you have the pastels, you have, what do we got here? 40 colors, I believe. 40 colors, yeah. You have 40 colors of pastel here, okay? And you have several browns, just like Neocolor 2. You have several, greens, and you have 2 oranges. You have 2, 3, or 4 yellows. You got two or 3 reds. You got a pink. You got the next step up from a pink. You got 2 types of purple, a violet. Of course, you got your black and your white, your brown. You got all your colors in there. And 40 pastels is all it comes with. I would like more colors, but these colors can be mixed like paint, okay? And what I like is, see the vibrancy of these pastels? I mean, they're very opaque, and they work just like oil pastels, but they're not as messy. Like oil pastels smudge too much. Neocolor 1, there's no smudge. Oil pastels, you have to put them on, and then you have to blend them just right, and then you have to you have all the smudge. But here, okay, you don't have to fix or add a fixative to these Neocolor 1 wax pastels. These are wax. These are not oil. These are wax. You don't have to add, you know, anything to fix it. Okay? Show you some things that I've been goofing around with here. I just did this the other day because I love doing the wax pastels on paper stock. Here's paper stock. I love the way they look on paper stock. They look very, very vibrant on paper stock. And this is just some abstract crap I did. Okay. This is a cartoon of a friend of mine. I just found out the other day. I did the cartoon and then I was like, who does that look like? And I realized it looks like my buddy at work. But this is a cartoon of a friend of mine. That is Neocolor 1, baby. The whole thing, everything on there, everything is Neocolor 1 except the, some of the black is my pit pens. I use my pit pens for that. And here it is on, what is this? Pastel paper. And as you can see where the oil is still drying. I use Gamsol and baby oil a lot of times, depending on the surface of the paper. And also for special effects. Now, when this dries, this oil dries and settles into the paper real well, it's going to look really, really lovely. You can use these wax pastels, especially Neocolor 1, on anything. Okay, you can use them on, what do you call it? The board. I forget what it's called. The board we use when we're, making paintings. You can use it on those. You can use it on watercolor paper, multimedia paper. Multimedia paper is my favorite. Also, I also love it on Bristol paper. You can use Bristol paper. Bristol paper, now this is paint that I have in here. I don't have any. I have some of my pastel work. This is marker and paint I have in here. But Bristol paper. It's really good. These wax pastels are really good on Bristol paper because Bristol paper has a very smooth finish. And so the pastels glide on very, very, very well. And you have, but you might have a little bit of problem with smudging on the Bristol paper. I'm not sure. But I know on paper stock, as you see here, you don't really have to worry about smudging. And on pastel paper, you really don't have to worry about smudging. Even though when you use regular oil pastels on pastel paper, you have to worry about smudging and all like that. So what else do I want to say? Yes, paper. Again, you can use these wax pastels on any paper, but paper stock and Bristol paper, I think, are the best. I also use watercolor paper in different textures to do these wax pastels. It's up to you. If you decide to get a set of wax pastels, Neocolor one, try them out on different papers. I love to do that. I'm not really too crazy about them on regular pastel paper, but I like them on mixed media paper and Bristol board, and mainly paper stock. Paper stock, I think, is the best. It makes the color really shine, like right here. The color just really, really shines on paper stock. I really, really love it. And paper stock is so smooth, but it has that thickness to absorb the pastels, okay? So again, you don't really use these like you use regular oil pastels. You use these more like you use colored pencils or markers. I'll say that again. You don't really use these like you use regular oil pastels. You use these like you use markers or crayons or colored pencils, okay? Because that's where they come from. They start right here at these China markers, okay? And you know you can use these China markers for drawing and sketching. And also, one more thing I want to show you. Almost forgot here. Let me go over here. I want to show you this real quick. I did this tonight. Now, a lot of people, a lot of professional artists like to use the Neocolor ones for underpainting, and I decided to try that out tonight. And what I have here is, most of it is Neocolor 1, but if you look real closely, you can see the gouache in there, especially where it's real smooth. On the face, you can see where I went over the, I had to match up the gouache colors with the Neocolor 1 colors, and I did have a little bit of trouble with that, so I had to keep going over it and over it again until I got the right color palette in there, okay? But this is a mixture of mainly Neocolor 1, gouache, and then I have some ink pens that I used here, ink markers that I used in there to outline everything in black. I used like my pit pens to outline everything in black. Okay, but the majority of this cartoon picture here, if you want to call it that, is Neocolor 1. Okay, it's all Neocolor 1. Okay, and you can see the difference between that and this one here, which was done completely in Neocolor 1. No paint, no oil, no Gamsol. And speaking of Gamsol, that's one more thing I want to mention. Gamsol is my favorite. Matter of fact, when I do these Neocolor 1 videos, not videos, when I do these Neocolor 1 drawings, I like to call them Gamsol painting because I use a lot of Gamsol. Well, not a lot. You only need a pinch, here and there. But I like to dip a brush, okay? Now, the baby oil, what it does is it actually makes it, the Neocolor 1s into like a, it makes them real slippery so you can use your fingers to blend them like oil. But I didn't do it. Hold on a second here. I didn't do it. I didn't bring my stump. Oh, there it is. I use a stump to blend these in. As you can see, you can even see the stump marks in there. You can even see the stump marks in there where I did a lot of stumping. And I can go back over that. And what I do a lot of times is I'll use the stumper to blend the Neocolor ones in, blend the colors in real good, okay? And then I'll go back over it and finish it with a color and not touch it. I'll go back over it with another color one more time and not touch it. I didn't do that here, okay? Because all the colors that I put on there, which is 2 of them, I kept on scraping to get the degree that I wanted, okay? As you can see, but I did do it here with the lips. I went over the lips and then I put one more color down and I didn't touch it, okay? And you can start with these and you can finish with these and you can do underpainting with these. I love how you can use gouache or pit pens, or you can use the Neocolor too, even over top of these or whatever. And do you know, like when you put paint or pit pens or anything, any kind of ink or paint on top of these, you can smooth that paint around or that ink around with your finger, okay, like pastel on top of these to get the consistency that you want, okay, to get the look that you want. And I just love that. I just love how that works out. It's awesome. And a lot of times I do that, okay. But Gamsol is a paint thinner, but it's also used to blend paints together. And not only does it work really good for oil pastels, but it works better for Neocolor 1. It works better because these are like crayons. They're not like pastels. They're more like crayons. They're pastels because of the wax, but they are more like crayons. They are professional wax pastels. They are more in the crayon China marker era, okay? And when you use them, you can use different things like Gamsol or baby oil to blend them, okay? So I think I covered everything. These are better than oil pastels in my humble opinion. I have some really good oil pastels in the cupboard there. I got the Sennelier, I got, the Craypaws, you know what I'm saying? But these Neocolor ones, man, these are awesome. And as much as I love Neocolor 2, I love using Neocolor 1 because there's no mess, there's no smudge, it's not all over my hands. It's, they go down like markers, you know what I'm saying? And the pigment is so opaque like paint. They you use them like you use markers just about. And they're so opaque, but the consistency of them is like paint. And I just love that vibrancy. I just love it. I want you to get it here in the light. I just love that vibrancy, okay, that these have. Okay, I really, really do. So, D-Roy Cruz, Neocolor 1. I didn't say 2, I said 1. 1. Neocolor 1. No water needed. No water needed. Okay? Please check them out. If you don't have a set, get you a set of 40. I have a smaller set. I have a set of 12 in the cupboard back there. They're just awesome. Okay. I think I covered it all. God bless you. Have a great evening, and I will talk to you again with more tips. All right. God bless.